Hello everybody and welcome back to Gameweek 1 of the 2025-26 Slater and Gordon Premiership. I am Charlie McClellan. I am joined by Henry Barnard for what is going to be an absolute humdinger of a game here on Court A. Aspire against West Brom. It is the oldest Powerchair footballing rivalry in England. A game that has so often defined seasons, defined title races, been played in cup finals and internationally. It really is the pinnacle of this sport. We'll go through the lineups quickly now. For Aspire, you'd expect it will be that core four: Tom Kelly, John Boulding in the middle, Dan McClellan on one wing and John Dixon on the other. That was the team that was used in the cup final between these two, in which Aspire ran out 2-1 winners. And for West Brom, well, it's anyone's guess who the four will be, but you'd expect it will be that double pivot in the middle of Chris Gordon and Lucas Chrysler. The wingers, Brad Bates scored in their win over Middlesbrough this morning, maybe him. Matt Gilbert is generally very dependable in these big games. For West Brom, the picture has changed more this season than ever before, though. A new squad with new ideas. As Colin Gordon as head coach. Really could be anything this season, West Brom. And well, this morning they weren't massively happy with the way that they played against Middlesbrough. They got that 3 points on the board, and they will always elevate their game to play against Aspire. So West Brom warming up on the far side. Aspire in that sort of team huddle, just chatting. Look quite relaxed near us. But at the moment that first whistle goes, any calmness in the air will immediately dissipate. Henry, how do you see this game going?
Well, this game has been a big rivalry, as you said. I think it could go either way, in my opinion. West Brom haven't had the best of starts this season compared to other seasons, but Aspire, well, last season they didn't have the best of seasons. They finished in the top four though, but still they normally finish second or third or something like that. And honestly, I don't know how this game is going to go. It could go anyway.
Yeah, it feels like it's on a knife edge. Could go either way. I think the main thing to note is, as well as the preparation this season has been unlike anything we've really seen before. It's definitely in terms of Aspire. They've played so many games in pre-season. As our referee Paul Yates calls two friends on the court for England, but two bitter foes at club level, Chris Gordon and John Boulding. They will be the focal point for this game. The battle between those two will be the pivotal one that decides which way this massive clash goes. As the Aspire players have their bumps on the court, they are ready for this massive clash. The middleman, Paul Yates, the referee, he will be, well, very busy, you'd expect, in this game. Usually comes with cards, usually comes with drama. It is very much the best of English football, with Teesside and Leeds and Greenbank watching closely on. Feels like the first big clash in this season's title race. Final checks and the game is underway, so it's West Brom that kick us off. Ball immediately played back to Chris Gordon, and straight away a kick in is awarded to West Brom. So Chrysler to take this. He has options back and forward. Opts to go down the line to Brad Bates, who flicks in, met by Dan McClellan. Then heavy contact between the pair.
Bit of a crash there, but I don't think it's too bad.
Yeah, it looks, would you say it was bumper to bumper?
Yeah, first impression it looked bigger, but now when I just think of it again, it didn't seem as big, so yeah, just not as big.
Ball from Dan McClellan forward towards Chris Gordon. Boulding, McClellan towards the back post, cut out by Chris Gordon. Now Brad Bates has a chance to full spin and just doesn't get it right. That is a rarity for Brad Bates, who's usually very dependable on that sort of reverse full spin when reversing up the court.
He's excellent at doing that. He would rather have that moment back again and do something better with that next time maybe.
Dan McClellan out on the left-hand side being tackled by Matthew Gilbert. Ball back towards Boulding. John Boulding in the centre. Very tactical, this battle between the two.
Got some options to flick it out, but he's got the ball now.
Gilbert.
No, has he?
Gilbert comes away with it at his bumper. Looks to drive up the court. It's going to roll out. Oh, he's done very well to keep it in. Contact.
Oh, Matt Gilbert.
Given against Matt Gilbert. Forceful in the tackle with John Boulding. He did very well to position his bumper in front of the on-rushing West Brom number 14.
Matt did very well there until the end when he just made the foul. Now it's a kick in on the halfway line for West Bromwich Albion.
Dan McClellan. Bates and Chrysler.
Very close.
2-on-1 not given.
I'm surprised. I thought that looked like clear 2-on-1 in my opinion.
Yeah, it looks that way to me too. But waved away by Paul Yates.
Played advantage.
Gordon, big hit towards Gilbert. Boulding gets it clear. Now it's John Dixon. Ball across towards Boulding. Dixon again shoots at the near post and blocked by Chrysler. That's the first real attacking phase from Aspire.
They've looked dangerous in the past few minutes, Aspire, with quite a few shots on target and big whacks from John Boulding. And big heavy battle. So yeah, this is just the rivalry.
This is what you're seeing. Such a closely contested game. Bates, Gilbert. Brad Bates plays it on towards John Dixon, who Chris Gordon hits
the back wheel, but I didn't hear too much of a clash though. Not sure what the ref is going to do about this.
Given against John Dixon. I mean, it's a tough one because obviously he's in reverse, which referees really don't like when it comes to contact, but the contact was actually on the side of his chair from Chris Gordon, so here's Lucas Chrysler. Gordon, cut out by Dan McClellan. West Brom just gaining a bit of territory. Chrysler, Gordon. Gilbert picks off across towards Brad Bates. Picked off by John Boulding though.
Nice interception from Boulding there, but not great front bumper.
A 2-on-1 given against Dan McClellan and John Boulding, both within 3 metres of an opposition player and the ball. So an indirect free kick for West Brom deep in their own territory. Brad Bates. Chris Gordon, Matt Gilbert now. Across towards Bates, cut out by John Boulding, who drives forward. Dan McClellan takes the ball with him out on that right-hand side. Gordon challenges him and just puts it out for a kick in. So John Boulding to take this kick in towards Dixon, but it didn't have quite the accuracy. And a 2-on-1 given against Aspire again. So a bit sloppy in that final third.
Concept goes over Matt Gilbert's front bumper, but stay on.
Yeah, John Boulding, he's getting a lot of joy when he's arriving late and meeting the ball with that front bumper. Just not quite able so far to get it to his winger with the right amount of power or precision. This is dangerous for West Brom in terms of there's a very strong defensive setup from Aspire as Chrysler and Gordon are engaged by Dan McClellan, who driving across the line.
Got the kick in.
Wins his side a kick in high up. West Brom, who have struggled defensively from set pieces in recent times. Will Aspire make them pay here? Dan McClellan's going to take this one in towards Boulding, who tries to flick across towards that back post. Breaks for Boulding again. Has a shot, blocked by Gordon. Brad Bates just helps that out for a kick in. Aspire probing away here. Boulding. Dixon with the ball across. Again, good touch by Chris Gordon. Brad Bates picked off by Boulding. Now Dixon. Dixon, McClellan with the shot. Blocked by Gordon again. Brad Bates now takes the ball in reverse. Dan McClellan cuts it out. Now John Dixon. Dan McClellan again putting the squeeze on West Brom at the back, and it goes out for a kick into Aspire, who really are containing West Brom here in their own half.
They are looking really dangerous at the moment. That back spin, oh my god, the accuracy was crazy.
But now the ball breaks loose the other way. Tom Kelly, good pass out towards Boulding, who is immediately shut down 2-on-1, but advantage played by Paul Yates. Now Dan McClellan. Gilbert's on his back bumper, but he just takes that ball wide and caresses it, then plays the ball across towards John Dixon at the back post. It was a brilliant chance. A great ball from Dan McClellan back into his captain, who swept it to that back post. And Aspire really are looking good and really hungry for that first goal. And you'd have to say, Henry, if there's any team looking like they're going to score at the moment, it is Aspire.
All day long. I thought that was in. I thought that was in. I thought that was in from my first sight. I personally think you should have scored that though. It was a great opportunity. Oh, Dan and John quite close there, but play on.
No one in there for a 2-on-1. Boulding. Gilbert just lets it hit a bumper and go out for a kick in, which John Dixon will accept, and then moves down the line into a more dangerous position. Dixon, front bumper across towards McClellan. Brad Bates takes the touch and up against Boulding. He's got Matt Gilbert behind him, twisting and turning, and then the ball finds separation, and then it meets the bumper of Chris Gordon. It's going to go out for a goal kick. They'll just let that roll. The Aspire defence, who have been yet untested really by West Brom on the attack. You'd think that this counter-attack is going to be the way that they would get their goal, as Boulding with a big cross-field pass, blocked by Chrysler, who just cushions it into his captain.
One thing I was very surprised with that goal kick was the space Aspire had. The space Boulding had to just whack it across the pitch in a dangerous area. They're not the best West Brom in this first half of the half.
Yeah, they're not exactly restricting the passing lanes that Aspire love to use. One thing they are doing well though is then when that ball gets wide, they're not really letting it back in. They're not letting it back in towards John Boulding particularly, or a cross goal, which I guess is the most dangerous element of it, as Matt Gilbert drives away again. Just these two seem to can't get enough of each other right now, Gilbert and Boulding, and it is the England captain who drives away with the ball. Now Dan McClellan back in towards John Boulding. Gilbert towards goal, a chance. The ball falls for John Dixon. It's going to be a kick in for Aspire high up. They're really probing away at this West Brom defence.
Yeah, I could not believe the space Boulding had and the time He just waited. He was patient and then whacked it at goal. And now and then they had a dangerous kick in. McLennan kicking it.
McLennan and Boulding, they took that kick too quickly. Like Gilbert, that ball is going to roll all the way down. Towards us in the commentary box, actually. John Boulding. What can Aspire conjure from this set piece? Dan McLennan's just going to take that down the line and caress it onto the front of his bumper, and then he wins a kick in high up. So Aspire really working for these set piece opportunities. Boulding. McClellan. Snapshot towards the near post.
Let it go out for another kick in.
Yeah, they're really using these kick-ins to the best of their abilities. Aspire. Gilbert. Gordon. Brad Bates takes a touch behind John Boulding. Will chase it all the way. Bates. Boulding. Now it's Gordon. Chris Gordon with it. Brad tries to pick it off. Two on one for Aspire, which just alleviates that pressure that had amounted in those last couple of minutes of that phase. Now McClellan. Dixon has a chance to expand the court. He needs to take the ball with him in that situation. Which I think was the point made to him by his captain. Gordon. Bates picks off towards Gilbert. McClellan picks it off him. Now Tom Kelly. Towards Boulding. Gilbert shuts it down. The kick in for West Brom will follow. The intensity definitely building from Albion towards the second quarter of this game.
Yeah, they're settling into the game now. It's not as dangerous for them there. They're dominating it in the past few minutes, but this game still go either way, I think. But Aspire have been the most dangerous. In my opinion, Aspire need to use those set pieces really well because they've had so many opportunities. Oh!
Massive spin from Gilbert. Contact.
What's happened there?
Don't know. It's all getting a little bit smashy down there. Yeah, it's an obvious Aspire free kick.
It shows the rivalry.
Yeah, it shows how heated and contested this game can get. John Boulding. McClellan picks it off towards Dixon, who then tries to play it back across. Gordon, who has been imperious so far in defence in this game, just takes it under his spell, but still with John Dixon, who needs to try and get round it and then flick back into the middle. He's done the first part very well. Back towards John Boulding, into Dan McClellan, who helps it towards goal. It just comes off the back of Chris Gordon, I think. Lucas Chrysler is there on the goal line to try and stop this attack.
Dan needs to try and recycle it back to Boulding to start the passing again. Got it to Boulding. It is now in the Battles Chrysler.
Chrysler, who's a very physically dominant player. Well, won that kick in. He's somebody in the middle who's a real good dribbler of the ball. Very rarely gets beaten. Contact given against Brad Bates. Bates. Dixon. Does very well to get around Lucas Chrysler. Wants to flick it back into the centre. Kicking for Aspire. 3 minutes left, and this will be a great time to score for either of these two sides and go into the break leading, as West Brom have a chance to maybe spring a counter-attack. The first touch from Gilbert wasn't quite right though, and so it will just roll out for a goal kick. Taken quickly, yeah. Cut out again by Gilbert. Now it's Dixon. Dan McClellan has a chance now.
Space now.
Fires across. Isn't quite what he was looking for.
Gordon is honestly just like a brick wall at the moment. He's not letting anything get past him.
Yeah, he's been fantastic so far in this game.
As well, Chrysler, he's been doing amazingly as well. Their just defence is so solid. A spy can't get a goal. They can't just put that ball in between those posts.
This is dangerous now though. This set piece in a very attacking area. It's maybe not the best position in terms of central, but McClellan spins and hits that post, and then it comes back towards Boulding, who also spins, and the ball's sandwiched between him and Lucas Chrysler. Chrysler. Boulding. Now a chance on the counter-attack again for Gilbert. Gilbert, he's seeing a lot of the ball, but it's all in when it's too tight on his bumper, and he's not really got the ability to pass it, and that's what West Brom will really need to do if they want to try and bypass the Aspire defence, is pass around John Boulding.
Yeah, that's the only way to get past Boulding. You can't, there's no other way. You can't dribble past him. The only way is to pass round Boulding, and that's when you'll be rewarded.
Definitely. So Chris Gordon.
Bit of contact.
No contact
there,
given. Dixon's pass across.
Gordon's out of his goal area, but make his way back now.
Dixon, ball towards the back post, again blocked by Gordon. Gordon, who's shut down by Dan McClellan, but still manages to find the pass to Brad Bates. Wins a kick in.
It'll be very, very good for West Brom to get a goal now. It'll just push Aspire's confidence down to 0.
Yeah, it would be.
Very low.
Would be a real killer blow. Gilbert flicks it round the corner. John Boulding will see that out for a goal kick. We have 30 seconds left of this half. A half that has felt, even with the form not potentially being there in a season of change for West Brom, it's just felt like every other Aspire West Brom game you watch. So tightly contested, so intense. Matt Gilbert, who's been all over Aspire like a rash in this half. Boulding. Dan McClellan.
20 minutes has gone, but this is added time the ref has added to this game.
The ball somehow remained in play there.
I'm not sure how, but it did, apparently.
Brad Bates.
Take his time.
Kick in for West Brom, so this will probably be the last action of the half. Contact off the ball between Bates and Boulding. Chrysler. Gilbert. Bates. And that's half time, so it ends the first half. Aspire 0, West Bromwich Albion 0. A game finely balanced. Feels like one moment of quality could decide this one. We'll be back after the half-time interval for more intense Powerchair football. We are back underway here on court A at the Lee Westwood Sports Centre, Nottingham.
Oh, that's through.
Contact instantly given against John Boulding, a theme of that first half. Chris Gordon in towards Lucas Chrysler. Boulding. Gets a warning from Paul Yates, I think.
What was that? Kicking for Spire.
Kicking for Aspire on the halfway line. Dan McClellan. John Boulding in towards Dixon. Cut out again by Gordon.
Heard the chairs crash, but not too much, says Paul Yates. Dixon needs to get out now. And Boulding can keep control of the ball, so it's now a West Bromwich Albion kicking.
Gordon.
Has to get round that, which he has. Can he keep control? No, he can't. So it's another kick in for Spire around the halfway line. Gilbert and Boulding again battling, but it's now out of play for another Spy kicking.
Gilbert. Again in there, just strong. Into the challenge, Matt Gilbert. He's been defending from the front all game, really distorting Aspire's ability to play any sort of passing football.
He's been very annoying for Aspire at that first half. Very strong and intercepting those balls.
Dan McClellan, blocked by Chrysler. Gordon. Gilbert. Dixon now into the challenge. Gilbert again. He has been massively the thorn in Aspire's side in this game. John Boulding's just looking for that angle to complete a pass towards McClellan. Blocked again by Gordon. Boulding now. Tries to just find that pass through the gap. Dan McClellan into the challenge. Dixon.
Dangerous area for Aspire to try and get a goal. And that's a goal kick.
It's really tactical, this game.
Very tactical. And Gordon's being fussy with the ball. Should be.
Perfectionist, Chris Gordon. He's going to play, I think, into Chrysler, who's immediately put under pressure. Does really well to just come out of that tackle with Dan McClellan.
West Brom are driving the ball lots. They need to pass it. They need to pass it, in my opinion. Like, they can't get past Boulding without passing, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I guess the one thing they've got is they have the ability to come alive and put together a passing move.
Yeah, they do.
And they can take this game as late as they want and try and frustrate Aspire. Boulding. Matt Gilbert picks it off inside, makes that block again. Goal kick. This is a real battle.
Huge battle this game is. One big chance, one goal, one lucky moment could win the game for any team. Just one lucky moment could just get it, even if they've not been dominating the game, if they've been solid at the back. Just one moment could do it.
Yeah, it's massively on a knife edge, as I keep saying. McClellan, Boulding, towards Dixon, who tries to get the pick off, doesn't meet it. Now Dan McClellan. Gordon. Boulding, there's going to be a 2-on-1. Indirect free kick. McClellan, Dixon, cut out by Gilbert. Will be picked off again by Dixon. Now McClellan, they're getting that front bumper passing going, Aspire. Boulding, doesn't get the pass right. McClellan cuts it out. Now it's Chrysler with a risky pass across his goal. Works out well, and now West Brom are driving forward. It's with Chris Gordon, who is putting in a very complete performance with that goalkeeper shirt on for West Brom right now. He's going to try and win a corner. Boulding snaps in there.
And it is a kick in favour of West Brom.
High up.
Very high up.
This represents a real chance. They need to defend this properly.
Another kick in, West Brom attacking. Spire really needs to defend now. All their hard work could be wasted.
Bates wins a corner. They're building something here. West Brom. Feels like the game's in this weird lull where there's not really much intensity. It's all very slow and it's all very tactical.
Yeah, this is the only calm part of the game.
Bates meets the front bumper of Gordon. Goal kick. Two on one in favour of Aspire, so they have a big 10 minutes ahead now. Towards John Dixon, who manages to get that ball through. Dan McClellan has a chance. Can't quite find the gap.
He's trying to get this out. I'm not sure what's going on here. Yeah, I think it's going to be all one-on-one.
Set ball on the edge of the area. That ball was never going to move once it got wedged in between those chairs. Boulding gets the break of the ball, but John Dixon's pick-off is really poor. Risky from Tom Kelly doing the full spin on that. You know, it could have gone anywhere off that front bumper of Brad Bates.
Yeah, very risky. Nine minutes left.
Kick in. Dixon. Gordon, blocked by Boulding. John Boulding. In towards John Dixon, back in towards Boulding. Dan McClellan has a shot at goal. Blocked again. Aspire building a bit more pressure in these final minutes. Boulding. McClellan with the ball across. Blocked by Gilbert. Now Brad Bates on the counter. Has a shot. Blocked by Tom Kelly. Corner kick for West Brom, and they've been so much better in this second half than they were in the first. West Brom really made this game.
They've been way better this second half. This is now a very equal game. As I said at the start, it could go either way, and it could go either way in these next 7 minutes.
Brad Bates, Chris Gordon. Ball has a funny bounce. Matt Gilbert. Boulding.
Boulding want to kick in.
So, just under a quarter of this game remaining. Aspire now pressing forward. With Dan McClellan.
Driving the ball. Now taking his time. He should now pass to Boulding, I think.
Boulding.
Which he has. Doing their passing again.
John Boulding.
Not great communication there.
McClellan Boulding. His efforts blocked.
That's better play from Aspire. They doing their passing there is brewing something.
So we are really getting to that nervy part of this game now. Just feels super intense.
Very intense this is.
Boulding. Dixon with the ball across. It's going to roll out for a kick into West Brom. John Dixon, who's been on really good form since the cup final and the Club World Cup. This has not been his greatest performance, but neither has it been for John Boulding or Dan McClellan. Those three usually click really well, and it's just not quite going their way at the moment. But that said, one moment could change everything. Gilbert. Boulding.
Kicking for West Brom around the halfway line. It's been a very tactical game. Very locked up. It's Gordon. play on, says Paul Yates.
This is a real battle. The whole game has just been based around these two central players just trying to drive their sides forward, and they're not getting an inch out of each other really. Dan McClellan now defending on the edge of his area. Chris Gordon gets the flick. Kick in for Aspire.
This is the really nervous part of the game. 5 minutes left, just under now. Team, if they really need to get 3 points, well, it will be huge for either team to get a win.
Yeah, a late winner here would do so much for the confidence of these two sides. Two sides that didn't have the outcomes to last season that they wanted. It would be a big statement of intent in the opening weekend to dig deep and find a moment of quality in a game that has largely been physical. And
Chrysler trying to get past Boulding, but Boulding's having none of that. And past to McClellan. To Boulding. To McClellan again. It's out for a
corner kick, so this is a chance, and this would be a massive goal for Aspire. Dixon. Boulding has a chance to shoot. Should have taken a shot at goal probably.
Yeah, he should have. Like, he had good space. He had lots of space there, and McClellan did a great pass. The corner's very well worked, and that might have got the winner.
McClellan. Boulding. Two-on-one given against McClellan and Boulding with 2 minutes remaining. This game will be decided by one moment of quality or a 0-0 draw, which is not an unfamiliar scoreline in this fixture. It happens quite a lot. These two teams, the way they play and the intensity with which they play, and also the always quite cautious mentality of both of these sides when playing against each other, often results in quite low scoring and not very exciting affairs, although there's been plenty of excitement in this one, you have to say, even though it's not been the highest of quality games in terms of passing football.
Yeah, there's been no goals, not yet anyway, but it's still been very exciting, very nerve-wracking for both teams, all their fans as well. Very, very nerve-wracking. They're desperate just to get that goal to win it. Boulding, battling with Chrysler got the ball. Needs to try and flick it out. One of them.
Yeah, they're just really trying here, West Brom, to make sure that they get their last chance of this game. You think if they were to win a set piece here, that would pretty much be the last action. And they've done it, so they've got a kick in.
This could be it. 50 seconds remaining. It's now or never.
Here we go, this would be some moment for West Bromwich Albion.
And it's not been that moment.
Well, that was disappointing from Chris Gordon, not going to lie. Had a chance to try and win the game and didn't.
I'm not sure what he did.
Didn't try and pass it, sort of just kicked it against Boulding to hope for a dribble. Bates
kept it in. Then blowing the ball. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time is up. but there's added time.
Yeah, this will be. I think this is it. This will be the last action of the game. So Aspire need not to rush it.
They need to take the time. Oh, that might be it.
You think this will be it?
And that is full time.
So a 0-0 draw between two of the top sides in the country. Defensive, robust, quite devoid of quality, especially in the attacking third, but a great game overall. You can see why these are top players, because they just compete for everything, every single tackle. And yeah, it ends 0-0, so probably a fair result on reflection. If you look at the first half, Aspire were very dominant. The second half, West Brom grew into it much better. 0-0, a result that will not please anyone, but that given the game will be taken. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back shortly with more fantastic Premiership action.